The golden arrow. Once upon a time there lived on earth a fabulous bogatyr, a heroic warrior of unheard of strength and unseen courage. He possessed a wondrous weapon, a magical golden arrow. Yet the arrow was not famous for being forged of pure gold and adorned with precious stones, but for a marvelous power it possessed. It was enough for the bogatyr to take his bow and draw the string, and the arrow would fly to the very edge of the world with such speed that the human eye could not follow it. And wherever it fell, the air would burst into flames, the water would boil, the earth would tremble, and all living things would perish. Such a terrible weapon it was. Neither pen could describe it nor tale could fully recount it. Fortunately, it was in reliable hands. The bogatyr was an honest man, and he did not use the fiery arrow without necessity. He did not attack other lands, and enemies did not attack his homeland. They were afraid. Yet at the same time they dreamed of possessing this deadly weapon in order to conquer foreign lands. But that was impossible. The bogatyr guarded the magical arrow vigilantly and hid it deep beneath the earth. For many, many years the bogatyr lived, and for many years he guarded the wondrous arrow. But the time came for him to part with life. The bogatyr pondered to whom should he entrust the arrow. To his sons, his heirs. No, that would not do. Though they were honest and brave warriors, they were still young. They would not be able to resist the temptation to test the power of the weapon. And then a fratricidal war would erupt. To whom else? Was there on earth a person strong and wise enough to whom the arrow could be entrusted without fear that it would be used for evil against people? There was no such person. None had yet been born. The fiery arrow must not remain on earth for evil, greedy people. Possessing such a dreadful weapon could set any world ablaze and destroy it to its very foundations. And so the bogatyr decided to hide the magical arrow in such a way that no one could find it for millennia. Only then, when people finally cease to wage war, when they learn to value and protect peace, only then will they find the arrow to use its wondrous power for peaceful labor. The bogatyr summoned his sons and said to them, "My children, I am old and gravely ill. I have little time left to live. Hear my final command. Open the underground vault with these keys. Take the golden arrow whose terrible power you have heard of, and throw it into the middle of the Black Sea, into its deepest place." The sons set out to fulfill their dying father's wish. They took the magical arrow, and that very night set off on their journey. Whether they traveled long or short, soon blue mountains appeared before them. With their high peaks they seemed to prop up the blue, transparent, crystal-like sky. The brothers climbed the mountains, and before their eyes a majestic sight was revealed. Far, far below stretched a vast, boundless sea. Wrapped in a rosy morning veil, it was still asleep. In its calm waters was reflected the red disk of the rising sun. This was the Black Sea. And suddenly the brothers realized how sorry they were to part with the precious arrow, and ambitious dreams seized them. "Listen." "Brother," said the younger cautiously, Why should we throw such a treasure into the sea? After all, it is our inheritance." "Yes," agreed the elder. "The magical arrow by right should belong to us, and it is foolish simply to give it up." "And if we possess the fiery arrow," continued the younger brother, "we will conquer this beautiful land, build a castle on the mountain peak, and take as wives the most beautiful of the beautiful." "Yes, but why only one land?" exclaimed the elder brother. "We will be able to conquer all the lands we know, and those we do not yet know. We can have many wives. Everyone will submit to us unquestioningly. We will become rulers of the world." And the brothers agreed to hide the arrow in the mountains, and to tell their father, if he was still alive when they returned, that they had carried out his will. As they agreed, so they did. They left the wondrous arrow in a cave, sealed the entrance with a huge stone, and set off back home. How great was their astonishment when, upon returning, they learned that their father had somehow uncovered their plot. With indignation, the old man lashed out at his sons, accusing them of disobedience to their parent. "I will not die," he said, "until the wondrous arrow lies at the bottom of the Black Sea." Then the sons, convinced that it was impossible to keep the magical weapon for themselves, once again set out for the shores of the distant sea, and, with sorrow, fulfilled their father's wish. The fiery arrow fell into the sea abyss. The sea darkened with anger, its calm waters boiled and surged, and since that time the Black Sea cannot find peace. Again and again it rebels, seethes, raises enormous waves, and tries to cast out from its depths the deadly weapon.